One eternity later.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode. As you guys can see, we find ourselves in the G80 right now, and it's a beautiful cold night out here in the San Fernando Valley. Let's talk cars. But before I get to that, let me show you what I'm dealing with right now. So right now, this is the conditions. It's actually starting to rain. We're getting our late April showers right now at the moment. So basically, what a good day to go for a drive. In our last video, I think I went ahead and talked about some of the stuff that I had to do to get ready for Beamer Invasion. Now, I have not talked about what the logistics was to actually go ahead and get the car out there, do everything that I needed to do as far as logistics go. So let's get into that on today's video. I hope that the microphone is picking up this good audio for you guys. I'm all mic'd up, and I got my Sony cam, so I hope that the quality and the audio are there for you guys today. And again, I definitely want to go ahead and talk about what it took for me to go ahead and get the car out to Orlando, Florida for Beamer Invasion. Once again, it was a great experience. Amazing to have my car out there, have all of you guys just check out the build in person. As you guys know, everything takes time, effort, and a lot of money as well. So to get the build to the way it is right now, it has been a bit costly, but you know, for me to share this passion that I have for these cars with you guys makes it all worth it. Now, on the trip out to Orlando, I did not have anyone pay for my trip, so everything, all the expenses from the transportation company taking the M3, and then for the airfare, hotel, and food, all that was on me. So I took on all those expenses. So again, I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys a rough breakdown of what I spent. I'm gonna be estimating on food and beverages, just because I didn't really keep track of those items. But everything else, as far as the transportation, the airfare, the hotel, and maybe even gas. I think what I'm gonna go ahead and have to kind of estimate will just be gas, food, and beverages, and then also what I probably bought out there while I was in Orlando. So again, all this is gonna vary, but I hope that you guys get a good rough idea of what it would take to go out there. It can definitely be done on a more restricted budget. I think for me to just make all the accommodations needed for my trip, I did have to spend a little bit more. But again, with proper due diligence, you guys can definitely get a better price for almost the same experience. So, where do we start? All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start with the transportation of the vehicle. Now, the transportation for the vehicle came out to $3,000 for a round trip from Los Angeles, California to Orlando, Florida. I ended up going through a broker just because it was a lot easier for me to find a broker with the proper insurance necessary to have the vehicle shipped out. Should anything happen or would have happened on the road, I didn't want to have to be liable. My insurance, I felt like it needed to be something that the transportation company should be liable for. So I wanted to make sure that the truck was going to have enough insurance to cover everything that I added to the vehicle. So as far as transportation fees, I did spend $3,000 to ship out the car. Now, let's go ahead and talk about our hotel. Now, for the hotel stay, I stayed out there for a week. I landed on a Monday, and then I left on a Tuesday. So you guys factor in a whole week of at a hotel stay. I stayed at the Marriott right across from the event, from the Desertland Auto Museum. So basically, for my whole week stay, came out to $2,394.18. Now, obviously, if you guys shop around, if you guys decide to stay in a different location, prices will vary. This is also very close to Universal, all the theme parks, so that also added to the cost. Again, I didn't want to travel too far, so I felt like that would be perfect since it was right across the street from the venue. So for me, it really worked out really good. Although $2,300 was very expensive for sure. Guys, as far as the hotel staying, I will have to say I love staying at the Marriott Hotel. If you guys are going to stay at a hotel, I definitely recommend that you guys stay at the Marriott. I've stayed in different of their properties in Las Vegas and in other cities, and their facilities never disappoint. They always have a clean room ready for you to just get into your routine or to just rest. They have some of the best rooms for the money. There's definitely more expensive and there's also less expensive, but for me, I think Marriott provides me with a happy median. So again, guys, if you guys are looking to stay in a hotel room, I highly recommend the Marriott. Now, as far as my airfare, because I don't think the expenses stop there, and it doesn't even stop with food and gas either. But my expense to fly out to Orlando, it varied a bit just because of the time when I booked my flight. Now, if you guys book within a good amount of time, you guys can find a good airfare. And also, if you guys don't mind flying in certain airlines, for me, I wanted to fly on Delta, so I usually like the service that Delta provides inside the planes. Obviously, you guys can't do much, but whatever you guys can do, I think every single time you guys are on a Delta flight, you guys are always gonna have a good, comfortable flight. Now here's the twist, and this is why my flight came out to a little bit more. I ended up spending $1,500 on my airfare. Now, it would have been $1,200 a round trip from LA to Orlando, but again, due to the time restraint and the time when I booked my flight, that affected the price. Now, given that I went through a broker, I didn't have direct communication with the driver to set up the delivery, and the driver got there to Orlando one day before, and he needed to get to Miami, and that really threw off my plan. Basically, it added another $300 to my airfare, so my total airfare for the whole event, for the trip out to Florida, came out to $1,500. $1,200 for a flight from LA to Orlando, and from Orlando to LA, and another $300 for a flight from Orlando to Miami. So again, it can definitely be a lot better. It could be done in a better budget for sure. Now, as far as gas, because we do have to talk about gas. One of the good things about gas prices outside of California is that they're not as expensive. Um, when I arrived in Miami, I had to fill up a whole tank of gas to make it out to Orlando. So that was the only place where gas prices were a little high. They almost matched LA prices. Right there, gas was $5.50, I believe. So my first fill up came up to like almost $65, I believe. And then as I went ahead and got close to Orlando, and while I was at Orlando, prices were a little bit better. They were in the mid to high $3, just under $4. So again, better prices than LA. I would have to say for the whole week that I was out there in Orlando, or the whole week that I was in Florida, I think my gas might have been anywhere between $600 to $800 maybe. I could be overshooting it, but here's the thing. I ended up going from Miami to Orlando, and then I ended up going back to Miami. So with that being said, that added an extra 2 to 3 fill-ups just to go ahead and go back down to Miami. So again, that's just a rough estimate. With that kind of would save, gasoline and gas while I was in Florida. The next thing would be food and drinks. One of the good things about staying at the Marriott is that they provide breakfast. One of the bad things about my stay out there is that I would either wake up too late for breakfast, or I would wake up too late to where I had to rush out of the hotel and couldn't enjoy a good breakfast. So I would say if I had to give myself an allowance for food, and this is just kind of like a rough estimate, I would probably say I was spending about $100 a day on food. Now, if we add that by a whole week, again, I got there on Monday and I ended up leaving on Tuesday, so you got to factor drinks at the airport, drinks while I was eating, dinners, steak dinners, breakfast. I think I would have to say I was anywhere between $900 to $1,200 for a whole week. Again, guys, I overdid it. I don't know what I was thinking. It can definitely be done on a better budget for sure. Okay, so now that kind of just takes care of me, the car, and my transportation fees for the whole trip. Let's go ahead and add all that up, you guys. For some of the ones that I wasn't too sure, I'm just gonna go ahead and round it up to a middle number. So if I was between 5 to 700, I'm gonna say 600, and if I was between 900 and 1200, I'm gonna say 1,050 or 1,100, and then with everything else, we'll just go ahead and do the math. All right, so looking at all these amounts all together, and again, just kind of guessing on the ones for food, beverages, and gasoline, I'm looking at just shy of $9,000. Now, I actually did buy some merch while I was out there. I bought a few sweaters, maybe a couple shirts. So that really added up, let's just say another $1,000. So in reality, guys, this whole trip for me out to Orlando was just shy of $10,000. So it was very, very expensive. Again, I had no one help me out to get any kind of fees taken care of. So definitely something that you guys need to think about and plan out thoroughly, because it can get pricey. Given my experience, and why I made this channel is to kind of just share with you guys the whole experience, and basically what you would go through with this whole thing, with shipping a vehicle out of state. Again, prices will vary depending on the location where you're shipping out your vehicle to, how far you're going, and also if you go ahead and if you guys are dealing directly with the truck driver as opposed to a broker, you guys can save yourselves a lot more money that way. Definitely a couple $100s for sure. Or if you guys are planning a big group, they can also offer group discounts. So again, guys, if you guys have any questions about that, go ahead and let me know. I can definitely give you guys a good point you guys on the right direction, or give you guys some of the contacts that I've made. Okay, so now that we got to the amounts and some of the locations where I stayed at, and some of the transportation companies that I used, and also the airline that I used, I highly recommend all these just because they provided me with a great, comfortable experience. So with that being said, it doesn't really talk about what I had to do with the car to get it ready for the event. As you guys know, or as you guys may have seen on previous videos, I did have I when I talked about the manifold and some of the parts that I did. Well, you have to kind of factor in all those prices again into getting the car ready to an event like this. Big shout out to Rockstar Coatings out in Riverside, California. They definitely knocked it out of the ballpark with the manifold, the Daniel M Life colorway. Just looked really good at the event. Just to tie in with the whole theme of the car, definitely made it worth it. And again, due to the time constraint, I wasn't able to get the part installed myself. So I had to take it out to EAS to get the manifold installed. I had recently also purchased an armrest for the car that I had, well, not recently, I would have to say this was months ago, but I never got to that video. Let's just talk about a rough number that it took for me to get this car ready for the event. Aside from the just shy of $10,000 just to get the car there. To get the car ready, I would have to say I probably spent also close to maybe $2,000 on getting the part installed, and then also getting the parts painted, and then, well, not painted, but Cerakoted, and then the armrest, with the door locks that I had picked up that I still haven't put on, the floor mat or the protectors, the fire extinguisher. Yeah, guys, wow. At that point, I would have to say, for me to get the car ready to the event after paying all of that, I think I might have spent another $3,000, guys. So, which is gonna bring the grand total of the which brings the grand total of the Beamer Invasion experience to almost $13,000, you guys. Wow, that's like the whole price of a car, the whole price of a vacation. You pay off a lot of credit cards with that. That could have been Bitcoin. Oh man, you guys, definitely make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed yet. This is the best way that you guys can definitely help me offset some of the cost. Again, I'm sharing with you guys my whole experience. This is the Daniel M Life experience. I wanted to share with you guys what it would be if you guys were to ship something. And what's the best way to describe it? Just to go ahead and ship the car out with most of the accommodations that I felt comfortable with. Again, all this can be done a lot cheaper, you guys. You guys don't need to spend all that much to get your car ready, to ship out a vehicle, to fly, to eat. But again, I'm gonna go ahead and share with you guys my experience, and hope that you guys make make your own judgment, your own experience. And again, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed yet. Comment down below, let me know what you guys think, how crazy I am for doing something like this. Obviously this is very nuts, but to be able to be out there in Orlando with you guys, with some of the companies that I really enjoy putting parts on my car for, or modding it a certain way, it just never beats the whole experience. Don't forget to share the video, you guys. I'm gonna be bringing a lot more content along the way. As you guys just saw, I spent a lot of money that I need to make up, so stay tuned for that, you guys. We got more content on the way. We're gonna be talking about how much I've spent on the car, so stay tuned for that video. That's gonna drop pretty soon. Hope that you guys enjoy, and as you guys can see, we are in Hollywood right now, and it's raining. So let's go ahead and close out the video here.